Even super yachts have their own natural environment, so it's no surprise to find them in places like Monaco or Saint-Tropez, or to bump into one in the waters of Dubai. Impressed? Yes. In awe? Maybe. Slightly jealous? Definitely. But surprised? No. But they can be found in unexpected places as well. Tucked away in historical Monniken Dam, 15 miles from Amsterdam, a historic shipyard has been in business since the 18th century. Until 30 years ago, it devoted itself to making fishing boats, but it's now one of just 17 super yacht builders in the Netherlands. 72-year-old Albert Sr. is the shipyard's owner. He's a third-generation yacht builder.
My grandfather owned a shipyard in the small town Urk, just on the overside of the IJsselmeer, with 4 brothers. And they couldn't earn any money to have food on the table every day, so they decided to take a rowing boat, row over to Monnikendam and start here a shipyard.
So 2 brothers moved over to Monnikendam, bought the shipyard over here. And that's how it started. One of the 2 brothers got homesick. He couldn't live here in this area, so he went back to Urk. And my great-grandfather stayed and he built up the shipyard.
Yacht design has come a long way since then. What remains is the passion for craftsmanship of the builders. But modern times have different demands. The use of fiberglass enables production boats to meet increasingly larger dimensions.
At the underside of the market, the production boats are getting bigger and bigger. And so the pressure from the underside of the market is for the custom shipyards to go bigger and bigger.
Bigger boats need bigger sheds, and the one they have here is 6 meters too small for the latest project. A 50-meter super yacht with the work title 243 needs urgent reconstruction. But that's not their only problem.
And the harbour is not beamy enough. There is a small dam in the way of the slipway.
The harbour of historical Monniken Dam was built for fishing boats and vessels of modest size. But manoeuvring a super yacht is quite a different thing. An embankment in the harbour opposite to the shipyard is blocking the way. This natural dam is making it impossible for large vessels to enter the shed. The simple solution would be to remove the dam completely.
I don't think we're out of our mind when taking away the land. Sometimes you have to do certain things to get where you want to go.
The City Council hasn't granted planning permission to remove the dam, and Yacht 243 has been waiting for her reconstruction for quite some time now.
If the ship is now going out, it hits the end of the pier. So we want to take about 4 or 5 meters off, that the ship can run out in one direct move.
But as long as the City Council's position remains unchanged, those plans are blowing in the wind. They're going to have to come up with some other ideas. The Super Yacht 243 has to be reconstructed soon, and the pressure's on to find a solution.
Hier heb je lengte, hier niet. We now have to turn the boat and put it on the slipway, which is very difficult when launching a boat. En dan kunnen we hem vanaf hier met palen doen. Ja. En dan het laatste stuk 1 spoor. Exact.
While the team work out how to get Yacht 243 into the shed, another venture is racing ahead at a rate of knots. Work on the upper Stroff started in 2008. When it's finished, this super yacht will be 8 meters wide and 40 meters long. It's not been the easiest of briefs. The client insists it must combine a classic appearance with cutting-edge technology.
Upper Stroff is a difficult boat to build. There are so many details.
There's a lot to consider when you're building a super yacht. Where to store the motorcycles, for instance.
Here we are in the compartment from the tender. 1 or 2 jet skis. Sometimes they have a Harley Davidson on board, or 2, and that kind of things. Here on the foredeck we get a small crane down there, and here on the side we have a man overboard boat who can be in the water in minute, 2 minutes.
Interior is a challenge. There is a lot of inlay in the boat. Marble is a challenge.
So we are here at the entertainment area as well. Here we can have dinner, champagne and sunbathing. If you go one deck higher, we have the jacuzzi, even sunbed areas.
The engine room of the ship is placed directly underneath the main saloon. With 2 engines, both giving out 500 kilowatts and 670 horsepower, you'd expect they'd have to get ready for some serious noise.
The engine, they are 600 horse each, and they consuming, including one generator, 150 liters fuel an hour. And the sound, we take a lot of attention to the sound. You see here the isolation in the boat, how it is done. If the engines are running, you're sitting on top here in the saloon, you don't hear the engine.
The quest for modern yet stylish luxury is achieved through traditional craftsmanship. In the nearby town of Purmerend, 30 specialized carpenters build the inside of the super yacht. The work is so intricate, it takes a full year to complete. Before delivery to the shipyard, each part is double-checked and, if necessary, reshaped. It's essential that every joint fits exactly and every door closes fully. To make absolutely sure that the layout matches the yacht, the deck's outline is traced from a drawing onto a wooden floor, which is remarkable, for nowadays most companies work with computer floors. This is the traditional way.
From off of this drawing, all the ribs from inside the hull of the boat that we're going to build into are all marked out, and we trace those back onto our wooden mock-up floor. In between those ribs, we build up another wooden floor with supports, which has got a special foam that comes in between, and that allows us to actually build our floor above, so it doesn't actually touch on any other solid parts of the boat. This minimalises all the problems with sound and vibrations for the boat.
All the equipment aboard will be measured here in the workshop. Everything from televisions to refrigerators to whirlpools. If it doesn't fit, it's altered before delivery. There's far more space to work here than on board the yacht.
You can see here, basically this is how the room later be put together. But all these sections are broken down into small areas, so we build each section separately, and it'll all get taken onto the boat itself, where we put it back in together as a big building packet, actually.
It's all a matter of millimeters, but in this case, a millimeter can make a huge difference in the end. So the carpenters have to work meticulously.
The work that we do here, obviously, due to the fact that we lay out everything by hand, keeps us busy. It is craftswork, so it also allows us to focus on the point that we can build to very, very small error measurements. We work mostly between the 0.5 millimetre and 1 millimetre, for the obvious reason being, with a mock-up system like we have now, if you end up with 30 or 40 sections together, all butting onto each other, by the time you get to the end of the boat, if there's 1 millimetre on each one of those sections, you've got the inside of the boat is 4 centimetres longer than the outside of the boat, and that just doesn't work.
Coming up, work starts on the shed extension to accommodate Yacht 243, and Albert Senior is off to the Monaco Yacht Show. Monaco, the world's top luxury yacht show. On display are 100 super yachts ranging in length from 25 to 90 meters. With 28,000 visitors from 38 countries, it's the place to meet clients, suppliers, and shipyard owners. The perfect spot to do some high-end field research. Albert Senior visits the Yemasa, a yacht completed in 2006. Albert has made a point of staying in touch with the captain.
It is always nice to see old customers, old captains, old crew. Shake hands, feel the taste of the boat again, but you don't have the time always. Now we are in Monaco, we have the chance, so we do. Ah, that's nice. take the tool.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So, John, the hour is there. We're going to inspect it, the baby.
Let's start from the top and we can work our way down.
I think so, that's good.
A ship like this doesn't just come with a spare life raft for the orchestra. It comes with a helicopter, just in case you've forgotten to pick up your groceries.
And is that airbags, is that for landing at sea?
That's for landing at sea in the water, yeah.
Is that possible on such a small airbag?
Yeah.
No?
And I will carry this helicopter
You'll carry
in the
it?
water. The lift box is big enough to carry this helicopter should we ditch. So you can see the surface is getting a little bit flat here.
Yep.
So it's time for some more paint. And then,
After being...
it's 5 years of sun and salt. Yes, but it kept up very
Unbelievable.
well, yeah. And almost no corrosion on this boat.
Is that so? That's good. How many times around the world?
In distance, 3 times.
3 times.
3 times in distance, yeah.
And she looks very well. Congratulations on top here.
Thank
She
you
looks
very
good. I came on board after 6 years. And I'm pretty shocked because the paint job is so well done and so maintained very well in these 6 years. You will not believe it. I'm shocked.
It appears that a super yacht doesn't wear out easily.
But still, everything is the same in the wheelhouse. Nothing has changed in 6 years. So all the original equipment that was installed. And so everything is still in pretty good working order. This is a feature that was one of my ideas. Normally wheelhouse will have nice, comfortable chairs for people to sit on. I was raised by a German master mariner, and he always told me you never sit on a wheelhouse. So we decided to install leaning posts. Everything is very basic equipment. We did not go with a very complex wheelhouse. There you go through crew changes and different officers comes on board. So for that reason we kept it very simple. That was my choice, and it's very easy to train new crew members to come on board to use the wheelhouse and to use the equipment. It's all standalone, nothing integrated, very easy and user-friendly.
Volume in the boat is big. She's only a 50 meters boat and she has the volume of a 60 meters boat with 8 sleeping rooms.
Each ship built is unique. It's essential to come up with custom-fit solutions to meet the special demands.
The challenge was where to put the tender, because when the naval architect designed the vessels with the lines, there was a big wing. And the challenge was to get the tender behind the wing and to get it back into the water.
The solution was to attach the wing to the cranes. When the tender is launched, the wing slides out together with the cranes. This way, no harm is done whatsoever to the architectural design.
But Albert, you're always welcome on board. I've ordered you a little drink, and I still remember what you're drinking.
Thank you very much. I'm surprised. Thank you.
Cheers.
School.
Always good to see you on board, Albert.
Thank you very much. I love you.
Thank you.
The tour has come to an end, and after some much-needed discussions about important issues like the perfect helicopter color or the bubble density of the champagne, it's back to reality for Albert. For in Monaghan Dam, a somewhat less glamorous matter awaits. The shed extension is urgently needed for the renovation of the 50-meter super yacht 243, a complex task that will take a full 6 months to complete. The owner needs it back for the summer, so the yacht has to be in the newly extended shed in just 6 weeks. There's still no sign of the long-awaited planning permission, but they're so far behind schedule, they have to start work without it. It's 6 a.m. and preparations begin for the delivery of vast quantities of concrete. That's quite a delicate operation in a historic town.
Because we're in Old Town, we had to cover all the roads with steel plates because the trucks are very heavy. So we have 2 positions, one where the trucks are standing ready and one where they unload the cement.
There are 70 trucks filled with cement for the new shed's foundations. There's a constant flow of vehicles back and forth.
John. Er staan nog betonwagens nog een keer terrein. Oké, en er staan er 2 tegen de betonpomp. Die betonpomp zal 10 minuutjes duren voordat hij weer gaat pompen. Hij staat de slangen te wisselen en schoon te maken. Dan gaan we zo weer verder. Gaat het tijd? Ja, gaat goed. Goed weer.
Production is going well. I think we'll be finished in a couple of weeks.
But the real challenge lies in getting Yacht 243 into the new shed unharmed. And without planning permission to remove the dam opposite the shipyard, that may prove to be near impossible. Meanwhile, construction of the new superyacht the Apostrophe is also facing delays. 50,000 kilos of wall filler have to be applied in 6 separate layers to the steel hull and aluminium superstructure of the vessel. Filler is essential to give the ship its final shape and to make the surface as smooth as possible. It's craftsmanship in its purest form. You have to rely on your eyes and a lot of experience. But the extreme cold has been slowing the process.
Nee, we lopen niet helemaal op schema. Dat heeft met de temperatuur te maken en met het tempo van het bouwen van het casco. De werf op zich liep achter en alles loopt met elkaar in elkaar over. De temperatuur die moeten we minimaal 13 graden hebben. Het mooiste is dat je een temperatuur hebt van rond de 17, 18 graden. Ene dag plamuren, andere dag kun je hem net schuren en om de dag kun je hem dan plamuren.
But even after all the filler has been applied, a further 8 layers of varnish will be needed as well. The work is far from being finished.
We lopen een mooi stukje achter en we gaan met z'n allen er tegenaan en dan gaan we een stukje overwerken en om de tijd weer in te halen. We moeten op 2 dagen.
The sheer scale of technological innovation represents a big challenge for the superyacht's design team. Naval architect Hans Martin Bijs is responsible for the Apostrophe. In short, he's the one who has to translate the dream into a workable reality.
Apostrophe was originally designed by the exterior stylist, and basically our job is to make the design of the exterior stylist feasible.
Hans Martin is meeting project manager Alexander Spaksnyder to discuss the technical details of the mast and the top of the ship, also known as the bimini.
We are responsible for all calculations, construction drawings, naval architecture, engineering, so that the actual yacht, when it's built, looks almost the same as the interior or the stylist had in mind, but still fulfilling all regulations. De architect heeft bedacht dat die mast eigenlijk overloopt in de bimini, zoals je ziet. Hier met vleugels. Alleen om dat in aluminium te maken is vreselijk moeilijk. This is what the exterior stylist had drawn. It has some specific details, like how the topmast fits into the bimini on this shape. But we already know from experience that this is very difficult to build and hardly to paint. So we simplified it a little bit without jeopardizing the style of the mast.
Waar we meestal ook even naar kijken is de manier van ontluchten van bijvoorbeeld de brandstof.
Yeah, the challenge in the design of this mast is the actual size. The mast is relatively big and heavy for such a yacht. So prior to the design, we already knew this. So we took it in account in the weight calculations. So we know that stability was not an issue. 11 centimeter ongeveer. Dus dan maken we deze 2,50. The difference between a yacht and a superyacht, according to me, is that every detail fits and is right. The technique, the safety, the performance, everything has to be right, but invisible. The most important thing is the looks of the boat, but still all aspects have to be right.
An accident on board a multi-million euro superyacht like the Apostrophe could be extremely dangerous and earth-shatteringly costly. So state-of-the-art alarm systems are required to warn the captain of the slightest malfunction. 90 kilometers northeast of Cannes in San Remo, electronic specialist Charlie Teerwisse is working on a luxury yacht called the Pamela. Today, the alarm system on the Pamela is due to receive a thorough inspection.
Even laten zien wat er allemaal in zit.
Ja, anders lopen we, kijken we nog even de batterijen, kunnen we nog even kijken hoe dat, of dat op hetzelfde zit.
Ja, ook dat je gewoon gezien hebt dat het allemaal netjes in zit.
Ja.
The term alarm system doesn't quite cover it. It's actually a complex alarm monitoring and control system. The Apostrophe will get a similar system. 30 kilometers of signal cables are scattered over the ship and connect the several devices. This involves systems for fuel, oil, drinking water, tank ventilation, the anchor, propulsion, and firefighting. Once connected, every instrument on board can be monitored and controlled by this system. The crew operates it through a series of touchscreens.
From here we can monitoring almost every installation on board. The engines are monitored in this boat. Temperatures, everything exactly from the engines is in the system. We see the generators, electrical plant is done in the installation. All pumps, water, fuel, information, almost everything. The captain has a screen on the bridge, basically the same screen as here. Dit zijn de generatoren, dus is natuurlijk gewoon kind. Er is eigenlijk niks, voor jou niks nieuws, voor ons ook niet. Dat hebben we natuurlijk al een aantal keer. Energy Storage System, daar zit de PLC in, die het een en ander afhandelt. We hebben hier geen motorgedreven automaat nodig. Dat kunnen we gewoon
schakelt met je converter.
Je schakelt met de converter. Er zit wel een automaat tussen voor de veiligheid uiteraard.
An energy storage device is the latest addition to the alarm monitoring and control system. It stores all excess energy into a special battery, a more environmentally friendly way to use the available energy on board. The main reason for today's inspection is that they need approval from the insurers for the battery installation. Once granted approval, they will be allowed to use the installation on open sea.
We installed an energy storage system here on board to help out the generators. In case the load is too low, we store the energy in the batteries. So at moments the whole ship load is too high for a generator, the battery will help the system.
Ik ben tevreden zo op dit moment, dus ik zal hem het schip afrapporteren. En dan zijn we rond.
Nou, mooi, top. Ja. Dank je. Okay.
Coming up, the Apostrophe's engine arrives and the renovation of Yacht 243 falls even more catastrophically behind schedule. Building a ship that's one of a kind means you can't just pop into the local hardware store to pick up some spare parts. There's only one way to make absolutely sure every component of the ship is a perfect fit for its special design. From the bolts and screws to the rope fastenings and stainless steel railings, everything is handmade. A rather time-consuming task.
Mark, hoe gaat het met de trap?
Het gaat redelijk. Ja, het gaat redelijk, maar er zit een hoop tijd in.
4 people are working exclusively on the stainless steel work. But in this case, more hands don't necessarily mean less work. The Apostrophe's railing took 3 months to make. The same purest approach can be found in the woodwork, the piping or the plumbing. You name it. Every single detail has to be perfect. To build a ship this way, you just need patience. A 40-meter yacht means hundreds of hours of hard work.
Het is een vlaggenstok, vrij intensief gebeuren. Het is van een pijp doorgeslepen en er zit een spier in. En dit is gelast waar ik mijn vingers overheen haal. Het is afgewerkt, nou je ziet niks, het is gewoon één geheel. Het is vrij moeilijk materiaal om te bewerken. Het is hard en ja, je last het en alles moet natuurlijk mooi overlopen. Dus er gaat veel tijd in zitten.
But the results are worth it. Something that has also taken painstaking effort is the Apostrophe's engine. In fact, this is just one of the 2 machines that will occupy the engine room. At 500 kilowatts and 1,800 rotations per minute each, they will bring the 350-ton vessel to a maximum speed of 12.7 knots. That's 23.5 kilometers per hour. The motor meets all the latest technical requirements specified by the customer.
The request for this engine, this installation, was to repaint the engine in the color white. We have done special engineering to the supports of the engine and also put some components to the engine which are requested or necessary by the classification societies.
4 people have been working full-time on the Apostroph's engineering plans.
This department is developing all our special products. If we want to have special designed supports, we are making mechanical drawings for installation in our workshop. We are also developing over here electrical wiring diagrams. This is for the necessary electrical installation on board of the yacht.
Besides any specific mechanical request, the engine can be fully customized to meet the owner's preferences.
The strangest request we ever had was for a customer who ordered engines for a big sailing yacht. His request was to paint the engines red, a specific Ferrari red.
The shed extension at Monaghan Dam has been completed. Renovation work on Yacht 243 will take up to 6 months, so it's essential that this starts immediately and that the team find a way to get the boat into the shed. Permission to remove the dam blocking the entrance to the shed has not been granted, so there's no other option than to direct the 500,000 kilo yacht in at a difficult and precise angle. They'll have to rely on a bespoke underwater rail system to help them. The yacht will be placed on 2 stainless steel carts known as lorries. Each lorry weighs 22,000 kilograms, has 16 wheels, and can carry an annual load of up to 560,000 kilograms.
Dit zijn de laatste delen, toch?
Die moet nog aangeslepen worden.
En die nog zeker uitgeslepen?
Ja.
Volwassen, kantelen?
Ja, de rest ligt buiten.
En dan de volgende?
Ja.
Dat is mooi. En dat is dan het volgende deel?
Dat is de laatste kar, het laatste brok dat aan elkaar moet.
The lorries will drive in all the way aft in the water. The ship will sail over the lorries and then we pull the lorries out. And because of the angle of the slipway, the lorries get stuck under the boat and we pull then the boat out. It's like a train track where it's riding on. Ranja gaat op schema ook met de bussen?
Ja, zeker. We zijn naar de busjes en draaien voor de
mixen schijven.
Like everything in this yard, the rail system has been custom built and has been invented especially for this event. It works smoothly in theory, but the system has never been tried before, so the first attempt may very well turn out to be a costly tryout. In Purmerend, just 11 miles from the shed, the craftsmen are working hard on the Apostroph's interior, but things are not going according to plan. Working in a traditional manner takes time, and the construction is running 1 month behind schedule. That could jeopardize the yacht's delivery deadline. Today's inspection by Albert Senior will be crucial. It's nerve-wracking for everyone involved.
Ziet er netjes uit.
En alles zit er voor de rest al in.
Het gaat mij meer om het schuren, hè, dat er geen pitjes
zijn. Je ziet natuurlijk alles.
Today we're going to take the interior woodwork from the casts apart and they are going to the sprayer. It is very important that they put everything in the right box, including the numbers on the stuff, that people take it out and see what it is and where it belongs to. Gaat die niet automatisch dicht? Ze moet automatisch dicht gaan, hè?
Het laatste stukje.
Henk, dat is niet goed. Moet je even nakijken voor die komt. Mooi in de rondverf. Nee, ziet er goed uit.
With the inspection over and their work approved, the carpenters can start taking down the guest cabins and packing them up for the sprayer, which is in a different location. The utmost care is required. The parts fit together like a puzzle, and there's only one correct way to put them back together again. One tiny misplacement and you're in trouble. So all the parts have to be numbered correctly. In Monaghan Dam, the catastroph's air conditioning is craned into the shed. The fresh air unit is one of the most important parts of the system and specially designed to make maximum use of the limited space in the ceilings on board. The system ensures that temperatures are correct in the living quarters and the engine room, which is rather essential in a ship that most likely will sail the warmer regions of the Earth. But getting the device in the right spot on a yacht that's under construction is difficult.
Zoals je ziet hebben we niet zo heel veel ruimte hier, dus het is een beetje passen en meten om het allemaal op de plek te krijgen. Dus, maar straks krijgen we daar nog een moeilijke draai, maar als het goed is dan moet het allemaal wel lukken. Als hij goed op zijn plek staat, dan kunnen we de kanaal inmeten voor de buitenluchtintake. Er moet nog een druppelvanger voor om de vocht uit de lucht te halen. Dat is dan je buitenluchtintake. Hier heb je dan een filtersectie. Dan wordt je lucht alles gefilterd. En de fansectie die verplaatst de lucht, zeg maar. Het alleronderste vak is een soort drukbox. Dan wordt alle lucht ingepompt. En dan door middel van alle spierenpijpen wordt het naar de ruimtes toegebracht.
In the newly extended shed, the team is working hard on the final touches to the specially constructed ramp that will haul yacht 243 into the shed. Soon the lorries can be positioned, but the question remains, will they do the job? After the break, hopes of a timely start to the renovations of Super Yacht 243 start to sink. After 6 months of preparation, the moment has come to maneuver the 50-meter-long Super Yacht 243 into the shed. The permission to remove the dam opposite the shipyard has not been granted, which means the ship can't enter the shed in one straight line. The team has devised a rail system where special lorries will hopefully haul the boat into the shed.
Today we launched the lorries, then we position the boat over the lorries and position the boat on top. It's very exciting because it's a new slipway, new lorries, new winch, new cables.
Everyone involved is aware of the high risks of this operation. Failure is not an option.
We have given it so many attention in the design. Check it, discuss it, check it again. We didn't sleep about it. 100% sure that it works.
Ja, voor het eerst dat die gebruikt worden. Voor het eerst, ja. Kijk, het is een dubbele baan. Ja. En die rails, die stukken, die moeten dus naar binnen dicht.
Maar aan de andere kant is dat dus ook zo, hè?
Aan de andere kant is het ook. Het zijn 4 rails.
Het zit ook aan de buiten.
Ja, en dan hebben we kabeltjes liggen, die zie je er lopen. Ja. Dan kunnen we mee meetrekken.
The metal sheet piles that normally keep the shed dry are removed carefully to allow the water to flood the shed so that the ship can enter. Another crucial part of the preparations takes place under the water surface. The cables that will direct the vessel onto the lorries are positioned by a professional diver.
We gaan eerst de kabel in het midden leggen van de buitenlier. Dan sluiten we de railsen. Dan gaan de karren te water. Dan wordt het schip op positie gebracht en dan de kar omhoog. En als het goed is staat hij dan.
The heavy lorries need to fit onto the rails perfectly. It's a delicate operation, but absolutely essential.
Ja, maar ik denk dat we hem hier even loshalen.
Je mag hem doorhalen, pa. Maar heb jij een mannetje die even achterop kan staan met een vlag? Die daar zit best ver in de vaargeul. Dat je dus wel moet even los, denk ik, bij de lier. Want dan...
Ja, de spanning er even af, hè, nu van de kabel.
Spanning op, er zit 5 meter los in.
There's a problem. The cable of the outer winch is twisted.
Spanning is eraf.
Onder de kabel rollen.
Spanning is eraf, dus jij kan je gang gaan.
Nou, daar zat hij wel gedraaid. En gisteren twijfelde wel. Hij heeft hem nu los en dan gaat hem eronder doorhalen.
Ik weet niet wat hij nou bedoelt met gedraaid, hoor.
Gedraaid in de loods op het blok. De buitenkabel van de buitenlier hebben we op die sluiting zitten, achterin bij de kar. Daar zit hij gedraaid.
Ik wil altijd vooraan staan, ik wil zien hoe het gebeurt. Daar hangt er veel van af, dus ik wil het zien.
Maar dan moet er even iemand op de... Ik heb hier een vlaggetje. Die duikvlag hangt erop. Ja. En als jij hem wil, baas.
Ik zie de kabel slecht liggen op de trommel. De sluiting ligt eraf. We hebben nog een touwtje, Albert. Edwin, je bent aan het opwinnen. Je moet afwinnen. Word nou eens wakker. Godverdomme nog aan toe. Er is een sluiting gebroken van de kabel om de kar eruit te trekken. Die gaan we er nu weer opzetten. We gaan nog een klein beetje. Stoppen, Cor. Hou de rem, Cor.
Then their worst fears come to pass. The lorries that the 243 is supposed to sit on separate from each other, making the task near impossible to complete.
Touwtje brak. En dat zeiden we gisteren al tegen mijn vader. Touwtje gaat breken.
The old guys, they always think they know the best. The young guys want to do the best. Yes, there is always a little bit trouble between him and me that he said, "Pa, look about it." I said, I know.
Months of work are on the point of being lost, but the team does not give up. They prepare for a second attempt. This time the rope holds, but there's another problem.
De diepte van de onderkant kiel. Dus de kar zit 60 centimeter diep.
Albert. Gaat hij nou kijken of de ketting onder de karklem zit?
Hij is bezig.
Ja, het zit er tegen en de kar moet ietsje op diepte. Wat meer op diepte en dat lukt nog niet. Hé, pa. Pa.
Ja?
Volgens Kees ligt de kar nog niet diep genoeg.
Ah, dat denk ik wel, want hij ligt op ruim 3 meter.
Luister nou even, de bovenkant kar is op 2,35 waterdiepte. Dus dat lukt niet.
The lorries need to be at least 3 meters under the waterline for the operation to succeed, but it appears they don't have enough depth. Albert Sr. decides to go for it anyway. The yacht is hauled slowly towards the ramp. This is the hardest part. From this point on, the 50-meter, 500-ton ship needs to be moved in at a specific angle. Across the yard, the filling on the Apostrophe's hull and superstructure is finally complete, and she's now ready to be painted. It's a massive operation. 8 layers will have to be applied across the 40-meter-long vessel.
Het is een lak die uit de vliegtuigindustrie van de oorsprong komt en toen in de jachten toegepast is en tot zeer goede resultaten heeft geleid. Wij spuiten in meerdere lagen. Dat doen wij in een laagdikte van 300 nu droog ongeveer. Dat is microns. En een micron, dat is 1/1000ste millimeter.
Again, patience is the key word. Lots of patience.
Per spuitsessie moet je toch rekenen dat ze met een man of 5 een dag bezig zijn. Een compleet jacht moet je toch rekenen dat je met een man of 7, 8, zo'n afmeting als dit jacht, dat we een jaar bezig zijn. Dat je gewoon met je handen, zonder veel apparatuur, een blok staal binnenkrijgt en dat je er een prachtig mooi stukje werk van kunt maken. Wat allemaal gezamenlijk door de mensen, van jong tot oud, gemaakt is. En dat wij daar trots op zijn, dat wij aan zoiets mogen werken.
Human craftsmanship may sometimes be superior to machined precision, but that's no watertight rule. In some cases, you'd hope a simple computerized solution would be an option. The shipbuilders have so far failed to tow Yacht 243 into the shed for its urgent renovation. It looks like it's down to a faulty lorry.
De voorste kar kwam niet op de juiste diepte. En we dachten dat schip er tussendoor te varen, tussen de 2 delen in. En dat lukte niet. Hij stond er steeds tegenaan te trekken. Dus we hebben nu besloten om de kar omhoog te halen, weer bij elkaar te binden, de ketting weer op de achterste kar te leggen. En dan opnieuw te water te gaan. En dan proberen om die kar op diepte te krijgen.
Nog een beetje, nog een beetje, nog een beetje, nog een beetje.
Time is now the operation's biggest enemy, because when night falls, the whole exercise will have to be postponed for another day.
Albert, ik kan hier van achteren nou nog richten. Je komt bijna in het riet, dus ik denk dat we aardig vast zitten met die roeren.
Dus hij moet 5 meter naar achter. Anders zit je met die schroefwasser ook, want dan gaat die kar naar achter. En dan zit je met die schroefwasser te kloten. Dus hij moet gewoon naar achter straks. Ik heb er nog een 5,5 meter nodig, dat het schip eigenlijk naar achter moet. Op zich moet die 5,5 meter naar achter, de boot. Dat hebben we niet helemaal, we hebben een meter of 2,5, 3. Dus we moeten hem ook een klein beetje schuin wegdraaien. Zodat je hier die 5,5 meter haalt. Dan kan die kar omhoog en dan kun je de kont er als het ware indraaien.
Druk hem maar om, Willem.
It's looking like they'll have to cancel today's operation. This means that the yacht and all 12 crew members will have to wait at least another night. An extremely expensive delay.
Die as, die moet in die nis liggen. Dus je kan gewoon kijken achter, zit die lekker in die nis of zit die niet erin?
But then the team finally catches a break. During the last attempt, yacht 243 is placed correctly on the lorries and slides into the ship.
Dat is buitengewoon. Ik ben er blij mee, want het is toch de eerste keer dat je dat nu doet op een nieuwe helling die je denkt helemaal goed gemaakt te hebben. En als je het dan eens doet, dan heb je het goed gedaan. Really proud, because this is one of my last works. I'm 72 years old at the moment, and if you think about stop working, it is getting nicer every day. That's the way it is.
Kijk, dit is nou mijn oude mensen. Al zoveel jaar. Ik ga ervan huilen.
But retirement isn't an option yet. Today's success is a huge motivation to make new plans.